Hi guys, it's Belle here and welcome back for part 4 and the final video where we are just going to finish everything up of this trifold folio that we have been making using Tracy Fox's Peculiar Incidences at Potter's Infirmary kit. So before we do anything else, I actually want to do some embossing. So I've pulled the 3 bits out that I want to emboss, and I'm just going to emboss them with clear embossing powder. And yes, you can use your dabber and everything to do this, but I don't know. I like the Tim Holtz dabber, but I'm going to be honest, my Versamark watermark embossing pad, well, I've been using it for years, literal years. I can't remember the last time I bought a new one. And I just find it sometimes easier. So yeah, I'm just going to use some clear embossing powder. I was thinking of using the vintage photo embossing powder, the Tim Holtz one. Embossing glaze rather. But I just went for this instead. So let's just emboss these. And I hope you guys are all okay. I seem to have forgotten a bit on there. I'm going to try and finish this up today. Now, we're going to finish the final decorations. I did do a little bit of stitching off camera and a little bit of inking, but that was it. Move these over. I know they're out of shot at the moment, but I'm now going to heat these and then show you what that looks like. Okay, so I didn't even redo the bit of the clock that had not a lot of embossing on it because it kind of goes with the cracked look. But yeah, so it had to be on the light bulb, didn't it, guys? Had to be. And it had to be on the bottle. There's no two ways about it. It has to be on there. So we've got those done. So let's get on with parts of the folio. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you may see there's three differences on here. Firstly, I changed the paper clip for a little tiny Tim Holtz Bulldog clip. I really think that works really well. Then I've put eyelets on both sides of this tag. And then actually there's 4 things. Then I added, so we added this onto the inside pocket here. And I thought I wanted to bring it in. And this stuff, it's the faux leather using tea bags and embossing folders look. And I thought like it gave me the feels, because I didn't explain why I chose this in the last video. It gives me the feels of those rubber mats you sometimes use in hospital and things. And there's an eyelet here with a loop. And what, you may say, is going on that loop? Well, let's see, shall we? So I've also got an eyelet on this light bulb. And this light bulb also has a magnet on it. And this is going to attach down here, like so. I was thinking of having it come across, but I think I want it here. Where'd the magnet go to? There we go. Yeah, so I think I want it hanging down there. So the first thing I need to do is to put a loop into this. And we're going to worry about the magnet in a minute. We're going to worry about how we're going to attach that, considering I've glued this down. Is this big enough to go into here? Yes, good. Brilliant. Oh, we don't want to do that. We want to attach. Now, unfortunately, my favourite antique kind of gold chain that I use all the time has, funny enough, because I use it all the time, run out. So I am instead using what I could find, which was this black one. And that, got it the wrong way around. There we go. That needs to attach onto here. Like so. So I need to cut it at about here. That's what we're going to do. And this, first of all, there's 2 light bulbs in this kit, which love. We're just going to use this one. Come on. Here. And what I want this to be like is, you know, when you're in hospital sometimes, or especially these kind of creepy hospitals, there's often a single light bulb swinging from the roof. Like it's not even got a shade on it or anything. It's just a light bulb, just creepily swinging from the roof. You know, you see that in all the spooky movies too and stuff. So yeah, that is exactly what I wanted this to be like. So it will have movement, but I also wanted the magnet on there because it will also help keep it in place and be another way to keep everything down. I mean, look, it just swings, guys, see? It just swings. Like a creepy light bulb. Light bulb. Let's see where the magnet's going to go. Is that quite far down? Right, it's right down the bottom of here. Let's put the glue on as we do, and then we're going to work out how we're going to do this. Yeah, because I have the idea first, after I've already done everything. But that's okay. We adapt. Right, that didn't really come off, and I can't see any of the glue unless there's just none on the card. Right, come on. That's better. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Right, let's take this off here. Let's put it on here and make sure it's the right way. Now, what I'm hoping is I might be able to put this through the fabric that I have. I'm trying to find a white piece of paper. Let me grab one. So I ended up dyeing. I had some white cheesecloth like this, or cream, and I ended up dyeing it. You see that? Do you see how yummy and grungy that is, guys? Can you see that? Ah! Using the 3 colours that I'm using in this kit. Yeah, now what I want to do is I've also got some of my faux vintage tape. I have this piece here, which I want to put on here as well. Now, you don't have to. You can make your own. Tim Holtz has some, like, it's a whole thing this year. It's a whole trend. I'm going to put it over. Now, obviously, you can still see the magnet there. I'm not worried about that at the moment. I also want to see if that will attach. Yes, love it. Now on the front of here, where has it gone to? I literally just had it. I have the little Tracy Fox sign that says Potter's Infirmary. I've gone around it with my scissors and gone around it with some ink. I want that on there. I want some of this behind it. I want that looking creepy. And also this gauze also reminds me, like gauze, cheesecloth, whatever you want to call it. It also reminds me of what is used in a hospital. So, you know, we're tying in all those kind of elements whilst also making it a creepy place that you don't want to be. Yeah. So I kind of want that, which means we'll see the tape through it, but between the tape and the gauze, we can't really see the magnet now. See where I'm going with this, guys? I'm going to stitch around that. Again, you don't have to. You can just glue it on really well, but I want to stitch around it because it's on the front. Now, I deliberately, when I was stitching around this, caught up some of the threads in the actual stitching. So I did it really slowly. Again, just to give me that bit of creep factor, a bit of that worn factor. We're really going to pull some of these. We want it looking Let me get another piece of white card. We want it looking as frayed and yucky as possible, guys. That's what we want. Well, that's what I want, so I don't know. Creepy, creepy, very, very creepy. This is my favourite bit. This is where I feel comfortable because we're decorating, we're doing it creepy style, the grungy style. The folio was a new one for me, so that was a bit stressful. So do you see now? We can't see that magnet. We've covered it up. Oh, and I also wanted to show you that in here, the tops of these tags, we didn't put tea stain paper on. But to be honest, all I did was use my inks on them and then add the eyelets. And that's going to be under there. And now this is going to attach. And it kind of keeps it in place, which is another reason I moved this nurse over, so that you could see her a bit better and it wasn't all over this side. And also, I think this metal also helps. This is a pocket, so I can put something in there. I can have this like swinging loose as well, but then it magnetizes. So there's the front one done. Now we're going to work in here. Again, I put an eyelet in the top of this little tag. We have all these pieces. I had the little Tim Holtz sign that said special delivery, and I'm sorry, but it's an ambulance, and so it's just perfect as far as I'm concerned to have special delivery on there. So this kit works so well with Tim Holtz. So we've got two of my favourite things. We've got a grungy kit, or a creepy grungy kit, and then we can blend Tim Holtz with it, which as far as I'm concerned is a win-win. Right, that's going to pop in there. I'm bringing in some of the red because there's some red in the kit, and also it's a hospital. And I'm feeling like this tag needs something coming out of it. So I pulled out some of this, it's like this net lace fabric that I don't even know where I got this from. I think I might have been sent it, you know. And it's just, first of all, a great colour for things like this. And it's just fun because it's not cut straight, and I'm not cutting it straight. And then we can also fray it and just make it look extra grungy. And we're going to put that through here because we're bringing in the fabric now, guys. We're bringing in the fabric. It's a me project. It's probably going to have magnets, stitching, and some fabric. Like, that's my favourite way to craft. So we're going to have her tucked in there. And obviously then we can see the fabric at the top here, which is brilliant. And then I'm not going to do much with that. I think I'm just going to leave that in there like that. But I had this little, again, it's a little Tim Holtz one. I've really scrunched this up. It says arrive at 9 p.m. I mean, I don't know why you would go into hospital at 9 p.m. Seems to me that's a little bit, I wanted to bring in some more of this gauze. It's a little bit questionable, but I feel like this whole hospital is questionable. So, you know, we're going with it. We are going with it. You know, and we're going to add some of this again. And I know I stitched on there, so we're covering that stitching, but we're getting the threads of the stitching, which are fine. Also, I do need to add more tape to places, but I feel like tape I'll come in and do like in a minute. Sometimes I just like to do everything that's the same kind of thing, so words or fabrics or stitching at the same time. Oh, that just adds so much for being such a little thing. Can you see how the light bulb pops out the bottom? Light bulb. Okay, so now we're here. I've added some stitching to Creepy Doctor Guy. I mean, look at that. Creepy. And then we have this, another little Tim Holtz sign that says half a teaspoonful. Half a teaspoonful of what? That's the question. I mean, they gave some very, very questionable medicines back in the Victorian and such eras. I mean, there's been a lot of questionable medicine anyway through history, hasn't there? And yet, strangely, a lot of stuff comes back. I mean, I don't understand it. Like, some stuff, you're just like, why is that even a thing still? And I'm all for natural medicines, but certain things, no thank you. And obviously they used all sorts of things like mercury and arsenic and opium and all that kind of thing, that they were like, yeah, this is great as a medicine. And now we're like, mama not. But yeah, that made me chuckle, half a teaspoon, because he looks like he's coming and going, I've got half a teaspoon of this medicine. You're like, what medicine? He's like, just take the medicine. We're like, oh, questionable, mister. Questionable. Right, so this, I stitched around, as you can see. I've stitched around the hospital. We have this main street. I felt like this is the address of the hospital. I mean, I love these little Tim Holtz pieces, but I don't use them as often as I did when I first got them. I can't even remember what they're called, guys, because they're all unpacked and in my little special box that I keep things like this. But he brought them out, I think, the same time as he brought out the little, like, what they're called, apothecary? No, the little labels that I use all the time too. And I do need to add some of those to places, actually. So I wanted this on here, but I wanted, as we found out that staples were a thing, I know, it was a thing for me. Now, I don't have the Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher, guys. I don't have it. I'm sure it'd be wonderful to have. I talked myself out of getting it because I was like, really, Belle, do you need it? You've got a stapler. But for this project, it would have been brilliant. And we are just going to staple that on there. So that's going to move a little bit. I mean, I could have it stuck down rather than moving, because I think that having movement on it will actually annoy me. Yeah, I'm going to come back in, I think, with some of the other little bits and pieces. So we have that. And then we have this tiny paper clip on it. And in all honesty, I still want some sort of fabric on that tiny bit of paper clip. So, not that. I keep going to cut the wrong piece. I've got a piece put aside that I'm thinking of using as the closure to this folio. So, it would be good if I didn't chop that into pieces, wouldn't it? Yes, Belle, it really would. And we're just going to put that through. And I think I'm going to tie it rather than do what I normally do. Yeah, I'm going to tie it and make life even more difficult for myself. So, come on. There we go. So it's tied. It's a little bit messy. And we're going to attach this back onto here. The picture of the hospital on 307 Main Street. Just like that. It's just a little bit. And we've stitched, so we've added a tiny bit of extra numminess to the whole thing. So that's going to go in there. Now, why did I have patient? Patient's coming from somewhere else. I'm going to put this to one side. I feel like I want to do some stuff with it, but I'm not sure what I want yet. And I was looking down here. I have one that literally says telephone. And we're going to have one over here. I don't think I want one on there if that's going to be on there. So let's work on this side. Now, I also cut out some of the tools. I don't know if these were hospital tools, Tracy. I hope they're not, but I cut them out because I thought we could have some tools in here, because it is, after all, a hospital, an infirmary, you know, that was turned then into a workhouse. But we're going with the hospital angle on this. Just a hospital for me. I think in Tracy's one it was a hospital and a workhouse. But as I said, I'm not following the story, the amazing story. I'm just doing my own thing, which, again, if you've been here any length of time, you'll know is kind of what I do. Take something and go a different way with it. Want it the established down there. That is too yummy. That is too flat and normal looking. It needs more distress. That's much better. Oh dear me. I'm going to bring in some more of this Yamacho's cloth. Yeah. I'm thinking maybe with this project, you can see why it sometimes takes me so long to complete a simple thing, because I'll just keep coming in and thinking, oh, that's a good idea. Oh, maybe if I try that. Oh, what if I want to do that? Like, I just can't leave well enough alone. I just want to keep adding to something. And at some point, I have to be ready to walk away. And we are close to that with this. Well, I say that now, but I don't know. Right, I'm going to put that on there. This, obviously, we don't want all of this over the edge, but I am going to then rip all this and tear it. Oh, delicious. Yes, I am a grande. Oh, I like it. So that's on there. By the way, I love these tags that Tracy added. I love that they're all a bit weird as well. On the little drawer piece that I added the paper to, I've added a paper clip on top of there. There was no need to, but I thought I liked it. So that's what we're doing. Right, so on here, we're going to do two things. Firstly, on here, I'm going to add some fabric. And I was trying to work out what fabric would work best. I think this one would. This is some eco-dyed fabric that I have. And I just wanted to add a little something. A little, like, look at that. Does that not look like grungy mould that you would find in a hospital? Well, hopefully not in a hospital, but in a creepy abandoned hospital like this. Or maybe not abandoned, but in a creepy hospital like this. Isn't this exactly what you would think about you might find in it? Yep. Like so. I'm really ripping that all down and then fraying some of this. Yummy. And I'm going to actually take this out because we're going to need to do something. And I want to add this. So I'm thinking that's going to have to be stitched on. I mean, it has to be, doesn't it? And we've got these little scraps of the hand-dyed paper, hand-dyed cheesecloth. And I really don't want to waste any of it because it's so delicious that I just want to add it in places. This is just another little cheesecloth scrap from a different thing, not my dyeing. I think that looks amazing. So I'm going to go stitch that, and I might add some black thread to it as well. And then we will come back and do the next bit. Okay, can I just say how much I love the way that looks? Obviously. Now, there's also this key in the kit. I've backed it with some thicker tea-stained cardstock cut around it. Now, should this go on the back of here? Probably not. It would probably go a lot better, or the idea of it would work a lot better with the hospital picture. But we've already got this on the back of here. And I wanted to then put this on here. Come on, because this split pin's already been opened, it doesn't want to go through properly. There we go, it's through. And I don't even mind that it looks like that on that side. So we have this now that moves out. We've got the creepy hall, we've got all the yumminess that comes out the top, And then we've got the key on the back. Now, if you wanted to, you could even write a message on the key. So we've got that because I wanted to add the key to the hospital. Right, let's attach everything. Right. It's getting very messy trying to work with everything. And the key just pops out the side like that, which I kind of love. I mean, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't, but you know what I mean. We're going to work on this bit now, guys, and I have an idea. So first of all, I also added another little tag because there was one, and I think this tag was already here, but I put an eyelet in it. Also, I had this, my chappy, from the kit, and I just stitched around it. Sorry, let me have a drink of tea. Sorry, I know not everyone likes that, but I need to have a drink of tea. And then I'm going to actually cut this medical records thing down. So again, this is in the kit. We're going to work on this. But I got distracted by this. Because I want to do something. If you watched last episode, you will have seen the struggle was real with getting a piece of paper to just fit under here. I mean, why that was so difficult for me, I do not know. But I have an idea, guys. So firstly, let me show you what would be an easier way to fit a piece of paper. Get your piece of paper that's got two straight edges here. Fold it onto there. Look at where you want it to go. I want mine to fit underneath, so I'm leaving a little bit of a border. Then fold it over like so. I'm giving you, is that right? No, that's not right. Yeah, this is the easier way to do it, and then I do it wrong. Fold it over like so. That will give you that bend. Why, guys? Why did I make life so hard for myself the first time? And immediately, like, I got off camera and I was thinking about it and it was annoying me. And I thought, this is the way to do it. Why did I make life hard for myself? Then I have this other little piece. I'm actually going to make this smaller. Like so. And then you're like, oh, you're fitting two pieces of paper under there, Belle. No, I'm not, guys. Well, I am, but I'm not. You'll see what I mean. So what I want to do is I want to make this a pad. A little tiny mini pad, because that just makes my heart happy. To have an extra little bit you can write on. Now, obviously, not everyone writes on their journal, in their journal or their ephemera, so this could be a waste of time for many of you. But for me, it just makes my heart happy to add more unexpected writing space. So that's going to fit into there. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to stitch down here. You don't have to. You can glue, you can staple. I'm going to stitch. It's going to just go everywhere because it always does, but that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so that's probably one of the straightest I've ever done. It's still not completely in the middle, but we move. Now, I want this. If I'd thought about it, I could have, and even now, I could have stitched through and had the thread on there. I could have done that, right? But I wanted to show you that if you haven't done that, it's okay. It doesn't matter. And we're just going to glue this down. We're going to glue this side. And I'm also going to glue in here in the crease. And then we're going to fit that into there, wiping off the excess so that the little pocket doesn't... Oh, that... Honestly, that gives me so much more joy. And now I can't find the lid to my glue. That's not good. That just gives me so much joy. Except that did stick there. I need to make sure that it's not sticking. And now we have a little pad, guys. We could even write under there. I really need to find the lid to my glue. Oh, got it. We can write under here. and it's hidden under there. So we still get that paper effect that Sarah got on hers, but we also have a bit of hidden writing space. Now I wanted to add a little bit of something here, and I have this little piece of lace. Again, it's just a little piece of lace, and I kind of want to round it. It has a rounded pattern on it, but we're going to properly cut out that rounded pattern. And then I'm thinking I'm just going to add that on there. So there we go, I've added it on. But before we start adding things into the pocket, I've got another little interactive bit that I wanted to do. For no reason other than it makes me smile. So there was this in the kit. Again, I've backed it on some thick tea stain cardstock and inked around it. Now, it's not, I'm guessing it's not an actual needle because the end, but we're going to use it as a needle. That's what we're going to do. But the first thing I'm going to do is actually get one of my needles. Needs to be quite a thick one to get all six threads through. I've got some black embroidery thread, and I actually want this. Do I want it on the outside sticking out, or do I want it underneath? I feel like I want it on the outside this time. We shall see. Now that's not going to work, but so I'll just, and we are going to, do you know what, let's do it from this side. That'll work better, won't it, Belle? I'm trying to think of how this would go. No, I'm just going to have to do it here. Okay. And I'm going to do some stitches because we're in a hospital and I love adding stitching and embroidery to a piece anyway, but I kind of wanted to add actual now where did that needle go to? Right, it's right beside the fake printed needle, digital needle. Now, do I want it on the front? I think, oh no, I'm going to have it from, I'm just not used to stitching with this bit on the front, but I might leave the tail a little bit. That's what I might do. No, it's not going to be left. The cross stitcher in me just can't do it. Here, I just can't do it. Right, and we're going to stitch. And again, it's just bringing in a little bit of extra texture and linking in our theme like so. And then we are going to, you've guessed it, we're going to put this thread, guys, through here. Now I want this to go in here, but I do want the thread to be kind of loose. Not too loose that it gets annoying, but I want it to be loose. Because I feel like that adds to the overall effect. I don't know. And again, I don't think this is a needle, but I'm not getting bogged down in too much authenticness of things, because otherwise I will just drive myself a bit batty. And that's going to go in there, and look at that. Look at that. And then it can come out and again hang. That still opens. We've got stitching space. We've decorated a little bit. We've got Mr. Me Chappy Me Thingy Bob. We need to put, actually, hold on, he goes in here. Yes, he does. The tag goes in here because it holds that down, like so. We have our little identification chappy thing. Do we want to put patient on there? No. And that's going in, it's tying in all that red. We've got our little eye exam piece because, you know, it's an eye exam. And then we have this chappy. There's a lot of chappies. And then I think this was down here, wasn't it? Did I put... Were you saying, Belle, you've got that in the wrong place, but actually now I'm looking at it, I think I prefer it like that. And this was up here, but I think I prefer it because we've already got some fabric up here. So fabric, eyelet, fabric. That works out better for me. We have our little needle, you know, poking out. And obviously we had this bottle that we added some embossing to. And I need to pull in one of these. I think that looks, it's quite big, that one, isn't it? I know, I'm looking. And that says rock section. I mean, who's going to read them? Me, that's who's going to read them. So I need to have it look like it's more medical. That's going to be it. Obviously, we need to ink this up. It looks too perfect. I'm going to glue this on to here. And then we're going to fit that in that pocket. Oh, I love that cross stitch piece. It just adds to the whole thing. Love it. Now, if you don't have any thread, I mean, thread's quite cheap. You could use any kind of thread. But you could just draw it on with really thick marker if that's what you wanted to do. Let's get the glue off my nail. So now we have our little bottle, which goes into our little pocket and just pops out like that. And we have the medical records thing. So I wanted this to go here because we have Potter's Infirmary on the front. And then when you open it, this will be what you open it to. So I want it to say medical records. And that's ripped. And I really don't mind. And we're going to do the same that we did. Firstly, we need to dull down that white a little bit. We're going to do the same as we did to all the others because that's what's yummy. And we just, well, that's how we choose. And it ties the project together. And it just makes it simpler than me going, oh, do I want to add this? Do I want to add that? What about this? What about that? I am going to, exactly like I did on the front, I'm going to stitch around this and then glue it. Okay, so what I thought, before I add this here, I think I do want to add some tape. And it'll be easier to add this tape now rather than when I am, once it's glued down. So I'm just going to choose a piece of tape. These are the ones I've made myself. I'm going to cut this like so. I really need to make more. I've gone through half of my tapes. It's no surprise because they look delicious. We're just going to stick that in there. I really need this more frayed, especially here. So yes, we've got medical records. Yes, yes, it's actually still too clean for me. I'm going to come in with some black soot on there actually. Ta-da! Can I just say a big thank you to Sarah for making such a wonderful Advent gift in the first place. I mean, all the gifts were amazing. Making such a wonderful Advent gift and inspiring me so much that I immediately had to make one myself. I mean, let's face it, Sarah, you know if you're going to make me something that's paper or card or something like that or journally, I'm going to have a go. So yeah, so we have Potter's Infirmary, patient's records. Well, I was going to put patient up here because then when you look at it, it would say patient medical records, but I don't think I want to now. Okay, and we're going to move on to the back. Let's open this up. It will make it easier to work on. Just look at this. Oh, it's so yummy. Right, I had this handle with care, which again, I want to add here, guys. That's what I want to do. We're going to scruff it up again. I wasn't going to get one of the little tools that does this, but I think I ruined my scissors. I don't mind if they're the cheaper scissors, but these are the more expensive ones, and I shouldn't really be doing it with that, but there we go. it is what it is. And yeah, we're going to come in again with some more of this yummy cloth. So I know some of you are following along and making your own versions of this, which I'm so happy. It makes me so happy when you guys see something and you want to also have a go and make your own version. I mean, obviously, that's what we hope as crafters. You guys will be inspired. But I think also because this is something Sarah made, you know, it's good to be inspired the way I've been inspired. Does that make sense? It's passing the inspiration on. And I'm pretty sure Sarah told me that she was inspired by something that a family member had been sent as well. So she was inspired by another piece of inspiration that has then inspired me, that will then inspire you guys. So the circle of inspiration continues. Again, I'm going to stitch around this. So I've stitched around it, but because it's on the black card, you can't really see it that well. Just to pre-warn you, if you hear weird squeaking in the background, my Binksy is all around my legs, demanding a lot of snugs. She's like, you're filming far too early this morning, Mother. Why have I not had my daily morning snuggles? But we are out. So I have to get the filming in. Right. Right. I was trying to work out. I think I might want this. So I got two little tags and I just put filed and the number on it. And I'm trying to work out if I want them on her or on the tag up there. And I think I want them on her. So yes, Bingsu, I hear you, my darling. She's like, this is not fair, Mother. This really is not fair. And I'm going to grab this little paper clip. Not paper clip. Oh gosh, now she's climbing up my leg. Literally, she stands up and climbs all the way up my leg. Luckily, not like when she was a kitten and could actually climb up my leg. Kind of wanted that on there. Oh, and I stitched around this. Did I show you that? So that is in the pocket. So we have that. We have our notes. We have our clock because, you know. And then I'm thinking I'm going to add a couple of tools back here. Binks, what you doing? I'm thinking I might add a couple of tools. What do we think? Do we want a tool popping out here? Oh, I like that, actually. We're going to have a tool popping out there. Like that, actually, I think. Maybe just the one. And then we can have another one down here. And then on the tag, I want to come in with another piece of this fabric because we've only used it on one other thing so far and I can't have that. I need it to be tied together. I need it because that is how my brain works. Oh my gosh, she's going crazy. She's rolling around on the floor now, attacking the tail, the legs of my craft table. Right, and we do also have like this little bit of, does that cover too much of the yumminess up? How about if we cut that? Binks, leave it all alone. Oh, she is desperate to get my attention. Does anyone else have mum guilt out there when your fair bees are desperate for your attention and you can't give that to them? Because I'm feeling all the guilts right now. Okay, I am going to go and stitch that. So instead of doing a zigzag like I normally would, I wanted to see what it would look like if I messily did 3 lines just without taking my needle up. And you know what? I like it. It looks good. We've got threads everywhere. I mean, does this look a bit chaotic? Is it a bell project? Yes. Okay, now I'm sure there's bits I wanted to add. I'm having a look. Oh, I did have little like safety pins that were black that I was thinking of kind of adding. Did they have safety pins in the... Victorian-ish era. I don't know, but it makes me think of hospitals, you know. You remember when you used to break your arm and things before they got all the fancy stuff, and you would put something in a sling and it would be safety pinned in. So I thought, let's add one of those, because that's what I do when I'm thinking. So we have the back. I don't think I want to add too much more. We've got quite a bit in that pocket. Where did that one go to? There it is. See, it keeps disappearing, this one. When the pocket's closed, it'll be fine. Do I want to maybe clip? No, because it won't lie flat. Do I want to maybe clip this on? I feel like clipping a tool on would look weird in reality. So if I clip it down here instead, we won't see the clip, but it will keep it in place. Right, let's turn this. Right, okay, so the one that we haven't done any work on yet is, can I just say, with the needle sticking out as well with some thread. I love it so much. The one we haven't done any work on yet is this one. And the first thing I want to add is some tape. I said I was going to come back in and work with some tape on some of the others too. I haven't as of yet. But I do want to add some tape on here, like so. And then I was wondering about adding like patient on here. We could even tear this. It doesn't have to look perfect. Let's do it. Why not? Honestly. I'm just having so much fun, but I do get so caught up with decorating. Like so. Oh, thank goodness Binks has wandered off and gone and found one of her toys, because she's like, if you won't play with me, Mother, I will instead then keep myself occupied by playing with my toy myself. Right, now I don't want to scrunch it up down here, because if I do that, it will be difficult to get in the pocket. And it is just getting attached to the other side, but maybe if I rip there, I just can't not rip. I mean, it's just a problem I have. Like, it really is a bit of a problem. It just looked, with all those neat edges, it just looks a bit too perfect, and we don't want that. Perfection is the opposite to grunge. So, like so. And I'm thinking I might stitch down there just for a bit of detail. Can I just say how much more I'm loving this now? Now, again, I know not everyone has a sewing machine. And I know people sometimes can be like, oh, we would like to see a project with no stitching. But in all honesty, that's kind of my aesthetic. I mean, my main craft for many years was cross stitch. So even when I was making pocket letters, I was adding a piece of stitching to each of my pocket letters. It was a thing. It was my thing that I would do. I'm wondering about bringing in some of that black thread. That it was my kind of thing that I would do a cross stitch piece that themed with the pocket letter, or I would do the first initial of the person's name, a cross stitch piece for that. Because, and I didn't know anyone else who did that. No one else kind of added cross stitch to their pocket letters or anything like that, but I always did. So obviously when I started working on journals, I needed to bring stitching in. It's just me. It's just something I love. I love the texture of, and like I said, it's kind of been my main medium for a long time, threads and fabric. So, and I'll be honest with you guys, I have tried for years to learn how to use a sewing machine. Years. I'm talking years. I mean, we learned it in school too. I did make a pillow. A pillow, no, a whole pillow. But I always struggled. Now, a lot of machines are a lot easier now, thankfully. But I always struggled. I hated it. I was just like, this isn't for me. I'll just do hand stitching. That's my thing. And then I started doing journals. Sorry, just grabbing a bit of tea. I started doing journals. And then I was like, people use paper on their journals. People use stitching on their journals. And I bought my first sewing machine. And I persevered. I want filed, I think, on here as well. Yeah, I think I want filed. But I want it in red. So I have, please stick on there, my black cherry stays on. That's not going to go on there because it's not flat. Yeah, and I persevered with something that for over 10 years or more or longer that I had not been able to actually learn how to use. That's how much I wanted to add. Oh, I love that. How much I wanted to add stitching to my let's put a number on here too. How much I wanted to add stitching to my actual journals and ephemera. And I started off with one of those kind of £20 sort of mini sewing machines that are meant to be for kids to make basic fabric for their dolls and things. I started off with one of those guys. And it was... it really could not take fabric, paper, and it struggled. And yeah, but I learnt my basics on that. I say my basics, I just do a straight stitch and zigzag. But I learnt basics and taught myself the sewing machine and all that kind of thing. And then I got another one of those because, let's face it, sewing machines are expensive. Oh, can I just say how much more I love that? Of course I can. It's my project. Oh, and in here I also did some edge piece. So yeah, that's how I did it. And then over the years that I was working on it, I ended up... oh, I just love these. I know Tim Holtz has brought out the stamps so you can make your own now. But part of me is a little bit too lazy to do that. Lazy. I mean, you just sit on a night and do a load of stamping, don't you? And then cut it out. But I kind of just love these. These are one of my regular purchases now from the Holtz products. Yeah, but I just kind of worked my way up. And then finally now I was fortunate enough that I sell journals, so obviously I was putting a little bit of money from my journals aside and saving up for a better sewing machine. And I now have a Singer denim, I believe it is. So it's meant to work on denim. It's meant to go, you know, it's meant to stitch through that thick fabric of denim. So thankfully, it also quite likes working on paper and card. Just be aware of making sure that you do, if you are considering getting a sewing machine to use, make sure that you do your... why is there a piece of wood bark in here? That's obviously from another project I was working on. Make sure you do keep your sewing machine, kind of like that across there, clean. Take care of it. If you're working with paper, even with fabric, if you're working with, but especially paper, so much dust goes into your machine. So you need to regularly kind of take the top bit apart and clean it, hoover it. Okay, just love that. Just love it. Sorry, I know I said that a bit loud, but I just love it. I just love it a lot. On there. I'm wondering if we've got something that can go here. 75 years. Got all sorts of things. Form. You could have form, because obviously there's going to be forms. I like that one. Yeah, so I worked up. It took me quite a few years not only to get to grips with mainly fitting bobbins. It's the bobbins that were always an issue for me, guys. I'm not going to lie. Like, yeah. So I have a machine that I know it's easy to do the bobbin and the threading. In fact, my machine automatically can thread. But I don't actually use that because it's too much. Strangely enough, I find it too much faff to kind of do it. So I just... I just do my threading myself. But oh my gosh, learning bobbins was a thing for me. So I hate fiddly things, and bobbins are fiddly. So that was a whole thing. Oh, I have this actually, and I have this. These are Tim Holtz pieces. This is the table of the skeleton, and we have the anatomy de l'homme. So the male anatomy, or the anatomy of man. Just going to ink this up. I think this will go in here. That could go in like that too. Oh, I kind of love that. Not kind of, I really do love that. I'm wondering if I want another red, because I love the red. It'll come up really dark on here though, so maybe not. Maybe we'll just leave it. Maybe that's done. What do we think? Are you like, Belle, realistically, you've done a lot. It's chunky. Look, again, if it's a Belle piece, it is going to end up a little bit chunky. That's how I like my journals. It's how I like my ephemera. It's how my personal journals end up. I mean, it's a whole thing. Again, it's a problem. I have a problem. Although realistically, is it a problem? I mean, I suppose if you don't like too much fuss everywhere it is, but I obviously like it. So I want to bring in this table of skeleton as well. Let's actually bring in some black soot on this one. I have these pieces, so I might as well put them in here. And the thing is, if I then want them for something else, it's easy enough to take this out and to add it to something else. I like the fact that just says skeleton. It just pokes out there and says skeleton. Yeah, I like that. And let's have a look. We still didn't use the thing that said patient. I don't think we need to add any more, do we? I want to, but I'm not going to. I was going to add all of these little things because they're all hospital and they'd work so well, but also let's not. Oh, I know what I did want to add though. I wanted to add, because this kind of was getting a bit distressed there, I wanted to add some tape down the side of there. I'm going to glue it. Where's my glue? Ba-da-ba-bum. And realistically, I could go in and stencil the backs that are all plain. I hate a plain back on a piece of ephemera. I told you guys, I have a problem, okay? I'm going to actually put it down here because that bit's there and I don't want it right next to that bit. And obviously it can't go on here because that flips open. But look at that. Oh my goodness. Makes me so happy. Makes me so happy. I am so happy. I mean, I'd like to add it to other pieces. But I think we should leave it. I think we should be done. And then, yeah, where is that piece that I put to one side so I wouldn't cut it? So again, I've just got a piece of this weird lace. And I like this because it doesn't distract too much from the overall chunkiness of the whole thing. And it goes with the colours. I'm just going to do a loose knot for now. Oh, it covers her eyes as well. That's interesting. Actually, I like it with the chain on top. I like it with this on top too. So guys, this is the yummy piece we were inspired by. Gorgeous. I went down the let's get our creepiness on route. That's what I did. I was like, is the creepy... I'm literally just looking to see if there were other bits, because sometimes I want to add bits and I forget. Oh, I did want to add like poison somewhere. Might pull that out. And we can see we've got lots of fabric and tearing and stenciling. I was thinking about using black splatters. I think that would be going too far. We've got the black thread here that I just think adds so much. We've got all the yummy threads hanging from the top. Ooh, little pin. We've got one on the other thing, but not one here. I mean, I could just add it to this, couldn't I? Could just add it onto there. I think that will go. And then it's on our piece. It's on our piece of fabric, but not necessarily. Yes. Oh, sorry. Sometimes I get very excited. You should. If you're crafting, you should be excited by what you're crafting. So, okay. So here it is. Love it. Using the Potter's Infirmary kit. We've got our swinging lampshade. Like so. We open it up like so, and then here it says Potter's Infirmary. We've got our lovely nurse lady in our file number 5. We've got our belly band here. I mean, theoretically that's where we could put poison, couldn't we? We could do that. I had a smaller poison. I had one of these. Yeah, I'm not going to. Leave it alone, Belle. We have this Machappy me thingy bob. And it's just plain from the... I say plain, it's beautiful. But it's just a digital thing. Look at that. Oh, that scrummy, yummy writing space. Oh, this lifts up, obviously. We have a pocket in here. Maybe I could put the poison in there. Sounds weird. We have a little bit of writing paper under there, you know. Doctors should have their notes with them. Lots of stenciling on that. Lovely. Light bulb there. Love it. We open it up. We arrive at 9 AM. We've got this tag here with this lovely lady. And that goes in there, and we see that through there. We've got to fill in our pharmacy record. And we have that this way. Got the red. Got the ambulance we might be arriving in. Special delivery. We have a little tag that pops in this side. There. Then we can open it up. We're actually going to walk into the hospital. Walk into the hospital. We have a flip down bit here that we can write on. We have our creepy doctor saying, "Welcome to Potter's Infirmary. Have half a teaspoonful of this medicine." And we're like, hold up, we haven't even been checked. You don't even know what's wrong with me. And he's like, just take half a teaspoonful. And this all opens up. We have our Potter's Infirmary form of admission that we have to fill in. And here's a picture of it and where the infirmary is. This is all grungy and yummy on the back because it just is. This is one of the nurses that we're going to meet. And then this opens up for extra writing. We have our little pad on there. And then inside, this is her file folder, the nurses. She's dealing with this patient. Maybe that's us. Maybe they took our picture and we're like, why do I need to have my picture in my patient file? And they're just like, just go with it. It's all good. We've got notes in here. Obviously, this is our case file they're putting together. This is another doctor we're seeing. And they take us into maybe an operating room. And we're like, have you got cleaners that work in this place? Because I do not want to be operated on in there. So that all pops in there. Honestly, I'm loving it. Loving it. This is so creepy. I would not be in this hospital. Then over this side, maybe this is the room we're being kept in. This is when the hospital was built, or maybe this wing of the hospital was built. So in here we have the key. Key to our room, maybe. Why would we need to be locked in? We have this beautiful double tag. Don't go down that corridor. Lots of writing space, even on the back of the key, if we wanted to. Help! That's what we need to put on the back of that key. Get me out of here. Then we have this great piece. And then some paper that was some paper from the kit. This needs a lot more grunging up. But that just tucks in like it's coming out of the drawer. Oh, could we put poison in there? I mean, do I just want to fit poison in and we don't need to? Sometimes, Belle, just leave it. No. And again, we have these pieces that pop into here. And that's a skeleton. Then on this side, it does say medical records. Let's take everything out. First of all, we have our little hidden pad bit under here that we can write in. Under there. Then that is kept down by another tag. Look at it, it's yummy. Love those tags, really, really do. We're having our eyes checked. Don't know why, that's not what we came in for. There's a weird bottle of medicine that they're giving us our half a teaspoonful from. Another patient in the hospital. He looks like he's had too many of those half a teaspoons. Oh, that creepy. Another tag. Another little fold. Maybe this is attached onto our, not our band, but by our bed for our identification. To tell everyone who we are. And then we have this machappy me thingy. He looks more like he's like a custodian or the person coming round with something. You know, he's bringing something round. And they're going to use this. No, they're not. In theory, they are. And then we have the back. And we get to, first of all, we have to be wheeled to the operating theatre. Again, we didn't come in for an operation, so there's questions. Here's just another tag. And one of the tools that we're looking at going, excuse me, what are you using that for? I'm leaving, and I'm leaving now. I love the little skeleton poking up at the top. Here's our nurse, not the most friendliest nurse. She's like, just sit down. Just do as you're told. This opens up. Love it. We've got these that move. We've got more tools and the doctor's little notepad and stethoscope. And whilst all this is happening, we are checking the clock thinking, either we want visiting time so that we can say to our family or friends, help. Or we're just hoping that it's all meant to be over by a certain... Look, I love this. This is the Rochdale salts. I'm feeling like there's not enough here. There is, but I'm feeling like there's not because that's just me. And on top of all that, we do have this little pocket here where we could add just... This is a Tim Holtz tag. I mean, it's a bit big for this pocket, but we could add something... Let's have a look. Like even one of these could be added into there if we wanted. I'm not going to, but we could. So I'm going to walk away and call that done because otherwise I'm going to sit here keeping adding to it. And yeah, I need to just say, walk away, Belle. It's all done. Do you know what I'm thinking? You're like, no, I'm thinking that under there needs some of this tape too. Hold on. It just does. There's no way around it. Like, I need to bring in some of that. And you may disagree with me, but it's my project. So I just have to go with what I feel like. Which, let's face it, we all have to do when we're creating. Fiddly, fiddly tape. Okay, I need some. I just feel like we've got it down in this corner, you see? And I feel like there needs to be some up there to balance it out. Plus, this is very bottom heavy with lots of stuff. And I have to move the lamp back over. So I'm going to move this down so that I can glue stick this here. Like so. And it will bend over the side. I need to keep it like this for the moment so that the glue sticks, because it is on 2 creases, because that's what I've done. And then I think I'm going to come in with another piece because there's not enough there for my liking. Oh, with these craft with me's, you really do get a huge look into my mind when I'm creating, which is basically crafting chaos where more needs to be more. Like, okay, I like that. Okay, it is finished. It is done. Little Potter's Infirmary. Little Potter's Infirmary trifold folio, full of creepiness in the kind of hospital that none of us would go to for more than 5 seconds. In fact, we'd take one look on the outside and go, we'll go somewhere else. Thank you very much. I'm feeling much better now. I'm all good. Thank you for asking. I absolutely love that stitching on there. I really do love it. So that's it, guys. We are done. Did you enjoy this? I hope you did. Like I said, I know some of you are crafting along with me, but you're using different things. Some of you are doing a different theme, and you know, mine may be grungy, but these are so easy to put together in different themes as well. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this little project, and I'll be back again soon with another video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. Please do leave comments down below. I'm all caught up now, so I'm able to reply a lot quicker. But yes, anyway, guys, wherever you are in the world, I hope that Potter's Infirmary is nowhere near you, and that also you're having lots and lots of crafty fun. Bye for now, guys.